every single year, Battlebots comes out with some new incredible fights, teams coming out with new strategies, new ways of trying to get their robots to be just that little bit better, little improvements. Sometimes they try something completely bold that could mean almost certain victory or completely certain defeat. Honestly, that's what makes this so exciting. Even a returning robot is never usually the same year after year. So that being said, here are 10 returning Battlebots that I'm excited to see for the World Championship 7 2023. Let's do this! Now first up, it's gotta be Bloodsport. Now Bloodsport is a robot that year on year has always impressed me with the power behind that spinner, and it's usually incredibly impressive performance, where it's just gotten better and better in my opinion. But now, taking cues from Icewave, the weapon motor is now on top, and this completely changes the game right there. This means that the spinner has so much more power up top. This means that this thing could really do some major damage when it gets up to speed. Assuming that a robot doesn't completely take the motor out, which is still a real risk, Bloodsport could absolutely become a real killer on the box. On top of that, the flexlets I think are a really smart idea, given that they want to try and combine a low ground clearance with that extremely powerful weapon. It's proven in the past that those wedgelets were a risk with the spinner in the way. But now with the flexlets, that's less of a risk, and it might even be a potential option when fighting other horizontal spinners. Instead of having a full wedge, why not flexlets? And with a little self-righting bar on top, it means that even if a robot flips it over, Bloodsport should be right back into the action straight away. Bloodsport is always an entertaining robot, and I have no reason to believe that it won't be just as crazy exciting this time around. Next up is Beta, and I feel like I've spoken about Beta more than once in these past videos about robots that excite me. Beta is just such a great robot. Sure, it's not the greatest when it comes to fighting vertical spinners, but that sturdy wedge at the front means that it can take some mighty hits. Its powerful hammer means that it can absolutely destroy opponents. The experience of the team is stupendous, and it's actually, in my opinion, gotten even better. Joining the team this season, not only do we have John Reed and Andy Hibbard, we have Jason Marston. If you don't know who these people are, Andy Hibbard was behind robots such as Rapid, an extremely expensive, extremely powerful robot in Robot Wars that looked to have an extremely big amount of potential. When Robot Wars ended, I know that me and several others wondered if Rapid was going to show up in Battlebots or another competition, given that there was so much that this robot could still have done. Unfortunately, I don't think we've ever seen Rapid again, so it does mean that we're left wondering what if. But Andy Hibbard hasn't been resting on his laurels. He's been part of the team of the Hounds, and now joining John Reed with Beta. This means that there's likely some pretty nice stuff going on under the hood of Beta this season. With that power of the hammer, that's going to be pretty meaty. And on top of that, we've got Jason Marston, who drives for a robot that's been around in the live scene and in Robot Wars and is an incredibly powerful robot. Jason Marston has a lot of experience as well, and that experience joining up is going to be incredible. I have a feeling that this is going to be an incredibly well-built Beta this season, with some great improvements under the hood and extremely well-driven. Once again, my main concern is ground clearance. If robots still continue to get under the Beta, we're never going to get to see that full potential in action. So I'm praying they have an option this time around. Some forks, just anything, to let us see Beta really take off. Because I think once you do that, Beta could end up becoming one of the top contenders. Next up, we've got Hydra, the latest villain of Battlebots. I mean, he even got an award for it from Ray Billings. This is an incredible robot, all jokes aside. One of the most powerful flippers Battlebots has ever seen. It's such a tight package. This is an amazing robot to watch in action. Robots are definitely really bringing the fight to Hydra now that they realise the threat on their hands. If you're not prepared for Hydra, you're going to be sent into orbit. And I have no doubt in my mind that Hydra has been improved more this year. It's going to come in, it's likely going to learn from some of the mistakes it made last season, and I've got to say, it's probably going to be a terror in the arena. Hydra is always fun to watch. I love a good flipper, and I hope Hydra continues to astound, amaze, and show the power that flippers possess. I will say, the robots have got something to fear, because I was talking about Beta's union, but Cobalt has one hell of an unholy spinner union here. You got Team Robotic Death Company, the people behind the likes of Megabyte and Gigabyte. Lots of experience there. Robots that have destroyed legends. And then you've got the team behind Carbide, the team behind one of the most devastating horizontal spinners Robot Wars has ever seen, and a robot that while it hasn't gone deep into Battlebots, has devastated some of the most durable Battlebots we've ever seen. The likes of Duck did not see that kind of damage coming, and that's crazy when you think about the stuff that those types of robots can endure normally. Cobalt is a extremely powerful robot. It's had a few hiccups along the way, but I have a feeling that they have got Cobalt really nailed down. I feel like Cobalt is going to be extremely difficult to deal with. This is definitely a contender for the giant nut, in my opinion. Given some of the robots they beat last season, coming back better than ever, people better watch out. Next up, we got, in my opinion, another giant nut contender. It's Lockjaw. Now, Lockjaw has always been a very consistent performer. Year on year, they've actually been slowly getting better, in my opinion. As they continuously learn and improve the design, Lockjaw continuously comes back with a solid strategy in order to get on top. And it has a good shot always because it's a solid design at its base. That vertical spinner is pretty powerful, and it's only been honed to be even more so. The ground clearance of Lockjaw is always pretty low to the ground. It's a pretty solidly built robot. Honestly, there's a lot going for Lockjaw, and the new forks on the front, in my opinion, really give Lockjaw just a new added bit of potential. I said before that these forks look like they could deal with horizontal spinner blows, and I gotta say, it still looks that way to me. That is a very nice looking design. It takes what it had from the back plow and incorporates it to the front where it's going to be more useful. There's a very real chance that Lockjaw is somehow going to be even better this year. I don't know how they keep improving Lockjaw year on year, or at least it feels that way, but Donald Hudson continues to show that he is one of the premier builders in Battlebots. And of course, with the mini-bot that I said before could beat a robot, as well as Spitfire now being on Team Lockjaw, there's a lot going on here that could leave a lot of robots unsure where to go first and could get themselves caught out and absolutely vulnerable to a defeat by Lockjaw. It's the return of Death Roll! Oh my god. It was 2019 when this robot was last around. It's been such a long time, but man, I'm almost certain that it'll be well worth the wait. If you haven't seen Death Roll before, you've been missing out. It went on a tear in its 2019 season. It took on so many high caliber robots, and it just did exceptionally well. It beat the likes of Endgame, it beat the likes of Rotator, I think it beat Minotaur, and I think it wasn't until Witch Doctor came along that finally took it out. Death Roll has a mighty spinner on it, which, if you remember the iconic Endgame fight, it's an extremely reliable spinner as well. You're not going to just be able to flip Death Roll over and expect it to just die. It's going to keep on going, and the hits it dishes out are phenomenal. Genuinely, some amazing hits that can take out some of even the best robots. And given the years that this robot has spent away, I have no doubt in my mind that that spinner is even more of a killer. That's not a spinner. This is a spinner. That's the vibes I get looking at Death Roll. So, of course, I've got to be excited for a spinner like that. And another returning robot is Monsoon! Monsoon, who similarly hasn't been around since 2019. Oh man, it's been such a long time, but I'm so glad to see this robot is finally back. Now, I mentioned my concerns that the scene has evolved so much in the time Monsoon's been gone, so there's a very real chance Monsoon could be caught out, but that's part of the intrigue for me with this robot. Monsoon is a robot that did so really incredibly well in its first season. It beat some pretty nice robots, if memory serves correct. It's, is a pretty solidly designed spinner, all things considered. I think it made it to the quarterfinals at one point in Battlebots. Point being, Monsoon is pretty darn good, and in the time it's spent away, it's either going to fail due to the advancement that other Battlebots have made, or in the time it's spent honing itself and improving, it might end up being a runaway, breakaway success. The spinner bar looks all the more thicker. The body, like I said, looks that little bit more compact, so it might be able to endure some blows a little bit more easily. This, to me, is a robot that has a lot going for it, and I really cannot wait to see how well they do. Good luck to the team, honestly, I'm so excited to see them perform. Next up, we've got Glitch! Oh my god! I'm pretty sure I mentioned about Glitch in a previous video that I was excited for it. My god, did I not expect it to do this well. How? Oh my god, it's so powerful! It's incredible! I didn't expect it to be nearly as powerful as it is. It's such an amazingly built robot. It looks like they've done some changes to the design. It looks like it might even be sturdier up front. I hope they've still got some answers so they can get underneath opponents. Or maybe they're trying to go for the Witch Doctor approach where the egg beater just can reach out enough and just get underneath, it's so low down it gets opponents anyway. But either way, with an egg beater that powerful, with the robot being as good as it is, there's not a lot to say. If you haven't watched Glitch just decimate its competition, you've been missing out. And I can only hope that if you did miss out, that Glitch repeats that kind of performance this season, because it was mind-blowing. 7 wins! That is incredible for a debut performance. Next up, we have a continued favourite of mine. It's Ribbot! Oh my god, Ribbot year on year continues to be such an impeccable robot. It was already a solid robot at its base, but has continued to improve. It's continued to get better and better and better. And while it hasn't gone to the point where it can take on the likes of Endgame, it's gone to the point now where even some of the really high tier robots have to tread lightly when facing Ribbot. That's the thing, really. You look at that frog design, and you might be you might let your guard down. You might think, oh, what a cute robot. That can't do me that much harm. It'll go in the first round. No, this is a real, genuine, bona fide contender for the nut. And that's what makes me love it all the more. It manages to be competitive without losing that personality. It's such a cool robot that I'd love to see winning the giant nut. Imagine Tantrum versus Ribbot. What a crazy final fight that would be. It could happen, but I don't think any of us would fully expect it. And finally, we have Quantum. Oh my god. Now, Team Robo Challenge, they have created some incredible robots. Quantum, based around Spectre from King of Bots, which decimated a lot of the robots in the competition. They also created the modern-day Robot Wars house robots, which really, everyone said that they wish they got to see more of. I'm on that boat as well. Those looked incredible and were really great modernizations of classic robot designs. But on to Quantum. This is a crusher. And in the modern scene, crushers are such a difficult design that it looked like they were just going to fully die out. I mean, getting enough crushing power to pierce modern armor, now that it's so densely packed, looked to be impossible, and trying to do that while having the robot have decent drive and decent armor, it just looked like a dream. It looked like it it should never happen again. You know, we were lucky with Razor, we were lucky with some of the other crushers like Kraken, but we were still never going to get anything that was going to really pierce into opponents. And then Quantum appeared, piercing AR500 metal like it's butter. Quantum is easily one of the most powerful crushers, if not the most powerful crusher in the sport's history. It's a feat of engineering. It's also got an incredibly tough wedge, though the sides of it, as we saw in the past, are quite vulnerable. I'm a little bit concerned about it dealing with vertical spinners, because if it can't get under, then it's going to get pretty badly messed up. But if it can get control of a fight, we're going to see some legendary crushes. We're going to get to watch robots get pierced, just like the old days. I'm admittedly a fan of robots like Razor, and I always thought the crushing of, the piercing crush of robots like that was so fun to watch, and getting to see that in the modern scene is honestly awesome. I'm extremely excited to see Quantum in action here. And there we have it. That's the 10 returning Battlebots that I'm the most excited to see. Now, these robots were not ranked. I don't like to rank robots. It's not a case of least excited to most excited. A lot of these robots I'm just as excited for. Like Bloodsport, Quantum, Death Roll, Hydra, Beta, they're all robots. All of them are robots that I'm extremely excited to see, and that I'm fairly certain are going to put on absolutely amazing performances and are going to be ones to watch. And I honestly hope you are excited as I am for this next season. World Championship 7, aka the 2023 season, is going to be incredible. I just know it! Now, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like on this. The support really does mean a lot, and the support lately has been it's so incredible. I nearly said exciting, but no, genuinely, it's been incredible. Thank you so much. If you want to, feel free to leave in the comments 10 returning Battlebots that you're excited to see, because there are some amazing ones. Bringing this down to 10 is always so difficult with how many great robots there are. And yeah, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Videos are coming out every single day right now on the channel. There's Robot Arena 2 Battlebots challenge videos, which I think many of you will enjoy, as well as other gaming videos. But with that all being said, I will see you all next time. Bye guys!